Good morning, everybody. I'm just organizing myself here for our Sunday readings. Here's my cards. See how will this work? Yeah. Okay. Get up a little bit. Welcome, everyone, to our Sunday morning readings. Oh, and what kind of week have you had? I always love how Abraham says, and how are we enjoying our contrast? What is contrast? And why do we have to have it? If you're a manifester like me, you've probably asked yourself that question at some point down all along the line. That when things happen that's unexpected or maybe even shocking, where you have circumstances that really challenge you and keep you from focusing on the good that's in your life, right? And so Abraham Hicks calls it contrast. And the reason contrast is important. Hi, Billy. Hi, Guru. I'm writing down names here for people that are here. I'm going to do my best to do readings for everybody that tunes in. Hi, Raylene. But I'm not sure. I never know how these readings are going to go. And so I may or may not get to everyone that wants a reading, but I'm going to do the best I can. But let me I'm using my guardian angel deck today because I don't know about you, but I need all the help I can get from the angelic realm. So this is our deck, Radley Valentine's guardian angel messages. And we will get started. I really like to play, I love to play, but I like to draw a card that's just the general card for everyone that'll tune in today. So let me just get the cards. Oh, hey, Australia in the house. Gotta love it. Raylene, thank you for sharing where you're from. I appreciate it. Okay, so a couple things. I will be asking you occasionally to put an affirmation into the comments if something occurs to me that feels like something we can all agree on, and especially in terms of manifesting. Good morning, Shahan. Okay, hi, DeMarco, for Demarise from Germany. So, Shahan, Demarise. Okay, so I'm going to draw one card that's for the collective and everybody that's wanting to manifest, want to have change in your life. Yes, I will pull cards for you. And we have for the collective, we're looking at the moon card today. Okay, so some of you have been a little bit in the dark. Your mind has been active. You've been trying to figure out, should I do this? Should I do that? And it's been burdensome for you. In fact, you're welcome, Jahan. But some of you are in a place where you're almost ready to give up. You wonder if you've been lied to. You wonder if there's been illusion, and you don't know which way to turn. So if that's you on this call or today, I'm just so glad you're here, because I believe every card that comes out is food for all of us. That's what happens week after week. So don't be surprised if you resonate deeply with somebody else's reading. Okay. And I love that also. And I appreciate the universe doing that, because I don't want anybody to miss out on readings, but sometimes the time just gets away from me. Okay, so Billy, you're up first here. And if I have missed you or you want a reading and I haven't called your name, be sure to add a comment. Once you've added it, I will jot it down on my paper and keep track. So this is the card for Billy. Okay, Billy, let's take a look. Okay, so what I feel like is this definitely goes along with our card for the collective with the moon, that there has been some, I would say, hard to figure out situations where you're looking at it, and even though you feel confident because you feel like you know what's next, you know what you want, some things have happened that have been really confusing. And so if you look at the face on this figure, this may be you, where you're just looking up Billy, you're looking and you're trying to figure out your answer. So what I want to remind you is that you don't want to take yourself too seriously. Okay? Um, it's if you look at your situation playfully, like it's a game, because here we have a chess game, right? And so chess is it's a game that demands a lot of thinking and it demands strategizing. So chances are that in your current situation, you're at a pause. It doesn't feel fun anymore. Good morning, Miss Sandra. It doesn't feel fun anymore. You are getting tired of playing the game as you are. So what I would do, Billy, is I would do a little audit and check in and make sure that you are walking on a path that you want to be walking on. Is it time for a course correction? Is there something about what you're doing right now that's not satisfying you anymore? So I would get a piece of paper and a pencil the old fashioned way and write down a list of what it is that you truly want to have happen within the next 6 months. And just check and see, are you on that path? Or is your path taking you away from what you really want? I think that that will give you some peace of mind. Okay, Billy? And definitely don't get sucked into other people's melodrama. Sometimes that is the best way to know you need to shift your path a little bit if the people in your life are causing you drama. Okay, very good, excellent. And now, yes, I'm seeing Sandra, I got you on the list. And now we are going to Guru. So, Guru, let's see here. Which card is good for Guru? What do the angels, what is your guardian angel want for you to know for this upcoming week? You are welcome, Billy. Hi, Davinia. You put your name on there. Did I miss you before, Davinia? I'm sorry. I think I might have. I think you might have been here early, so we'll get to you, girl. Don't worry. Okay, so where are we? We are with Guru here. All right, Guru, your guardian angel is, you're welcome, Davinia. As we look at your guardian angel here, this card has been coming up a lot this week. So I do feel like there's a theme that everybody may be feeling here when it comes to having money to spend. You may be having some pressure on your life, Guru, right now in terms of extra money, that you're covering your expenses, you're doing okay, but there's a lacking in what you can do for fun. And when I look at this figure on this card, what I see is an interesting mix. She's sitting on a treasure chest full of pentacles. And you may feel that, Guru, that you have resources, but you can't get to them, that they're locked away from you. And so this card always reminds us that there's a plan in motion. And many times the frugalness, the carefulness that you need to use right now in this part of your cycle does not mean that resources are out of reach for you. It just means the timing is off. And the biggest part of this card that I love to point out to people when it comes up is notice what she's doing. She's filing her nails. And if we look at her face, it looks like she's frozen in the moment, frozen in time. Thank you, Anne. I do notice I'll put you on the list. And so this is my self-care card. This is a card that shows that there's great wisdom in learning self-love habits, self-care habits, and self-prioritizing habits. And sometimes people are not comfortable with that because it feels better to take care of other people first. But if you are not taking care of yourself, and by that I mean allowing yourself to desire what it is that you desire first, this is part of what your Four of Earth moment can bring to you. It can actually bring stability to you by using this moment to turn towards self-care. So number one, Louise Hay. I recommend her practically every week. Her work with self-concept and the inner child is just wonderful. And a lot of times, self-love needs to start with the inner child and the part of us that is disappointed from our growing up years. Okay. So it's no big deal. Almost everybody has to go through it. But radical self-care is what I strongly recommend for you, Guru. So again, the easiest way to do this is to audit yourself. And I would challenge everybody on the call, because I wonder if you're allowing yourself to receive what it is the universe has for you. So that's the first affirmation we're throwing out today. I am allowing myself to receive what the universe has for me. I am allowing myself to receive. So if that feels good to you, tap it into the comments. Let's all join together in that energy. I am allowing myself to receive. Okay. And then get a piece of paper and a pencil and do an audit. What things are you doing right now in your life that are loving, self-loving gestures? What are you doing right now to prove to yourself that you love yourself? Okay. Now, if your list only has like 2 things on it, that's not a good thing. And so doing a YouTube search on how to love myself better will pay off for sure. So you do have resources. They may not be available to you right now. If as you allow yourself to receive, and I'm not seeing any comments here, so perhaps that doesn't resonate with y'all. If that's true, if you can't say, I allow myself to receive, then you can change it. You can say, wouldn't it be nice if I allowed myself to receive? Won't it be great when I can allow myself to receive? Those kinds of things will help you ease into it. All right. So anyway, a good self-care card for us there. I think every one of us, including yours truly, can really benefit from that. By the way, my name's Catherine. I forgot to identify myself and introduce myself. I am the queen here at Fish Out of Water Tarot, and I love to work with people. Thank you, Guru. I love to work with people who are a little socially awkward, a little shy, a little neurodiverse. I can relate to that. So I know sometimes our creativity can get crushed by demands that we make of our own self. Okay. Thank you, Davinia. Thank you for sending me your love and light. Be sure to agree with any affirmations that make your heart feel happy. Go ahead and affirm with me, and we will breathe power into that. Thank you, Raylene. Excellent. And then again, affirming, I am allowing myself to receive freely. I am allowing myself to receive freely. Okay, so Davinia, I know you were here one of the very first ones, so let me grab a card. As I ask the angels, guardian angels, and especially Davinia's guardian angel, what is it that you have for her today? And Anne, I'm writing you on the list. All right. Oh gosh, this is a excellent. Thank you. Oh, that, you know what? I can't tell you what that does for me when you guys write back that affirmation, because I can't give you a hug. I can't look in your eyes, both of which I wish I could do. And that's why I love the spiritual realm, the angle realm, um, the angel realm, angle realm. Interesting that I said that, because the angels do help us get an angle on what it is that we can do to maintain peace of mind when we're in squeezes of life. You know how it is when a piece of life comes along and just squeezes you. So, Davinia, we have the wise counselor role, and a big hug to you, Guru. Um, Hey, Apple's here. Welcome, Apple. I hope you've been taking action this week, Apple. Um, so now we're just taking a peek here. Let me sip my coffee. Ooh, let me reach over. Davinia, isn't this an ironic card for you? Okay, let's take a breath. Okay, deep inside of y'all, yeah, I'm living in Tennessee now, so I could say y'all. Each of you has a connection to this wonderful energy of the wise counselor. Y'all know I love Abraham Hicks, and I hope you do too. If you love Abraham, put it in the comments. I love Abraham. And if you don't listen to them yet, put in I love Abraham anyway. But they're continually reminding us that we have an inner being. Okay. I believe I have an inner being. I believe my inner being is a part of me who is inner being is here, is a part of me that connects me to the divine and connects me to the ability to find peace of mind in the midst of distraction, and permits me to share what my inner being wants for all of us to know. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be concentrating on right now. And thank you for that. So when it comes to okay, I'm just going to turn this off right now, just so that I can concentrate. Okay, so Davinia and all of you who are listening that are feeling confused about what's going on in your awareness, that if, especially with other people, what I'm learning is if I stop, if I pause for a moment, freeze frame, and ask myself, what does my inner being think about this situation? Two things always happen for me. One, I just take a breath. The minute I wonder what my inner being is thinking about this situation. Then I take a breath. It's like an automatic. And always what the inner being thought is comforting to me. So I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I saw that there's a distraction going on in the chat. So right away, I want to try to do something. But if I ask myself, what does my inner being think about this? And take a breath, my inner being's not even aware of it because it doesn't matter. Okay. Now I can take a second and try to doctor that and fix it up. But right now, what I want to do is just continuing on here with this part of the reading. So if you're feeling in doubt, Davinia, and you wonder what to do next, your inner being has the key. I don't have your key. The cards don't have your key. We guide you to your key, but your key is your inner being. So right now, what I would do is I would YouTube search for Abraham Hicks getting along with my in-laws. No kidding. That's exactly what I would YouTube search for. And then watch the first video that comes up. I call that game Abraham Bingo because it never fails. One time I had a job that I did not like. I was doing cold calling. This is years ago. I was doing cold calling for a real estate company because it paid decent and I was homebound and I had a phone. And so, but it was terrible. I didn't like it. So I YouTube searched Abraham Hicks cold calling. And no kidding, the video that came up completely uh, relaxed me and even made me laugh. So what you're being called to today, your guardian angel is behind you. It's got your back, and what you're needing to do is to focus inward. Ask your inner being for the strength that you need. Okay. The self love message is also very, very helpful, Davinia. And one thing you can notice too, I mean, this is another Abraham process that I use, and it's very helpful. Writing down the positive aspects of your problem person. So if you are being troubled by a human, you write down the human's name and then write down anything good that you can think about them. And I know that's really, really hard. Me personally, I know I overshare, but whatever, I can't help it. But I was in the middle of a divorce, and the man I was divorcing was not a good man. He was treating me with a lot of disrespect, and I was struggling to see enough value for my life to get the hell out of that relationship. And then I listened to Abraham, and Abraham said positive aspects. No matter what's going on. It always will shift the energy. And I couldn't think of one single positive thing about my future ex. But I realized two things that really helped me. Number one, he was an excellent photographer. Okay, that's a positive aspect. And I could write it down because it's true. No matter how he was in a relationship or treating me, he was an excellent photographer. And then I realized he's also a very good car detailer. He really takes good care of his car and he really does almost a professional job. Now, mind you, he wasn't taking care of our relationship like that. But my homework from Abraham, or from the universe, from my angels, was to write that list of positive aspects. And one other example. Many years ago, I was again working in a particular position that was difficult. I didn't mind the money and I really didn't mind the work. But the people there were terrible, hard to get along with. So one lady was particularly difficult for me. And again, Abraham comes along and says positive aspects. What can you write down that's positive about the person? Well, the only thing I could think of was that she had a beautiful manicure. No kidding. Her nails were fabulous. So I could write that down. She has a beautiful manicure. And that was enough to shift me from being so down, and then I could step up a little bit. So that's what I recommend for you, Davinia, is positive aspects. Okay, if you're wanting more information on that, be sure to look up Abraham Hicks on your YouTube search and put positive aspects. I believe that's a game that they taught in Ask and It Is Given, and that's a book I highly recommend because it's full of games and processes to make manifesting easier. Okay, Davinia. All right, Raylene, my darling. I wonder what's going on with Raylene. She's over there in Australia. It's so cool to have manifesting friends in Australia. So let me just take a sip. And before we go on, just suggesting, okay, hang on a second. I want to jump over. Okay, I'm just going to try here to, let me see here. Okay, hang on, guys, just for a second. Okay, I'm so sorry that we had all of that distraction in there. And I'm not real good to do all of my um, admin stuff in the midst of doing this. So I'm just so sorry that we had to have that on our channel. So there, thank you. Thank you for helping me, you guys. Okay. Ooh. I will say that for y'all, just to know me a little bit better, is that I was a Bible study teacher for years, for 20 years. I was involved in a non-denominational Bible study that took me to death row in Texas, where I got to meet the women that were on death row and minister to them, talk to them. I've had huge ahas through Christianity. At this point of my life, I consider myself I consider myself as more of a spiritual person, rather than a religious person, mainly because I have met worldwide now over years of writing and doing YouTube, all year and a half or 2 years, whatever it is, where I meet people who deeply respect God and love God, and they know that God is real, but they don't use religious words. They use more universal words, and that's the family of spirit that I'm in right now. But because I did spend so many years in a different belief system, the last thing I ever want to do is to bash anyone. I would have done the same thing as this person that was just on the channel. Years ago, I thought all of this was evil because I just didn't look outside the bubble of what I was educated in. And now I just have so much experience. And you can't ever argue with someone's experience. And spirit is as alive today, if not 1,000 times more so, than it was 20 years ago when I walked away from traditional born again Christianity. I respect it. I respect people of every religion, but I am more open now to things like tarot. So, anyway, sorry for that. Thank you for your patience. Where am I? Raylene. Oh my gosh, Raylene, you're so patient listening to me rattle on. Okay. Oh, I love this one. It's another 4. So we've had 2 4s so far. And Raylene, this is just a wonderful card. Take a breath on this one. And I sense already the energy on this card, the affirmation that really goes with it is, I am allowing myself to rest. I am allowing myself to rest. Now, fortunately, this doesn't mean that you have to go on a month-long vacation, okay? I think sometimes we feel exhausted and we wish that we could just stop and get away from everything. And many times that is something that you can do. You can start to save and, or, go on to a vacation of some sort in the near future. Somebody may offer you a trip. That's what happened to me more than once. Somebody offered me a free cruise, and then they offered again. So I know what it's like to travel on the universe's dime. And I can tell that story on a different day. But right now, what I want to tell you, Raylene, is you don't need to go away for a month or a week or even a day. It's possible to plug into restful energy a little bit at a time. In fact, that is something that I learned years and years ago about happiness, because I was always focusing on, oh, when this is, when I have this many um, subscribers, I'll be happy. When I am married, I'll be happy. When I own a new car, I'll be happy. And I didn't understand that because I couldn't get to any of those places quickly. But what happened was, my angels helped me understand that if I looked for 1 minute of happiness in every 5 minutes, my life would be completely different. I would see it differently. And so, in a way, I'm going to pass that same message to you with this 4 of air today. What can you do to add rest into your life on the regular? Within 24 hours, can you give yourself 15 minutes of rest? That's not much. Could you divide that 15 minutes into 3 5-minute segments? And then take those 5 minutes 3 times a day and just simply sit in a chair with your eyes closed. That's it. Could you do that? Is that too much to ask? I believe that your angels are really wanting to communicate with you, to give you ideas. I think that there's how do I say that? Like when you back order something, like you can't, like the order's in the warehouse, but they can't get it to you, that there are ideas that you're waiting for, and may have been even asking universe for new ideas so that you can go forward with something. And so my challenge to you today, Raylene, is to do that allowing yourself rest exercise. 15 minutes of the next 24 hours, right? Schedule it into your calendar, 5 minutes, 3 times a day. And I would challenge you to do it for 2 days and see what happens. Because I have a feeling that you are going to find this easier than you thought. And the wisdom of allowing yourself rest is, it looks like nothing, but it's everything. Okay? So again, I am allowing myself to rest. Anyone who would like to, if you feel that way, add a comment. What it does is it seals our energy together and it helps to keep it in your mind for the week. Okay? I am allowing myself to rest. Anybody who's feeling that, please do put in there. Excellent. Okay, Raylene, I'm very glad. And being homebound, I mean, I work from home, so and also I love being a hermit, like a lot, almost too much. So I understand it. It can feel it's so different than having an outer life. But that idea of sitting down 5 minutes, set your timer, 5 minutes with your eyes closed, and just allow yourself that kind of rest, and then let me know. Also, gosh, I forgot to say, my email address is in the description box. I'd love to hear from you. Anything you want to know, if you have questions about tarot, if you have questions about how you can be a Christian and like tarot. Nobody was there for me. 20 years ago, I didn't know anyone that I could talk to because my Christian friends didn't accept my choice. I would try to explain about the prodigal son, and that I felt like the prodigal daughter, and that they needed to release me to be prodigal. But that didn't help. It took me a few years to connect with spiritual people that were not critical of my choices. So if you have questions about that, I would love to be able to help you with that. Tarotinfo, please, at gmail.com. Write to me about anything you want to know, or tell me a little bit about your story. You guys know I love, love, love to hear from you. Okay, who's next? We have Jahan. Okay, Jahan, let's take a peek this week. Excellent, Sandra. I'm so glad to hear that. And Jahan, um, oh, Raylene, if you belong to Facebook, I have a messenger group over there that I love, and not a messenger group, it's a group on Facebook where I meet up with people. It's called the Invisible Money Game. And so if you want to jot that down, the Invisible Money Game on Facebook, you can come over there and learn more about how I keep my peace of mind in this world, crazy as it is. And so, Jahan, let's take a peek here. You know what? When I look at this card, what strikes me about it is the, the blessing of reconsidering tradition, the blessing of reconsidering tradition. And the reason that I say that is because we are evolving so fast right now. Things are changing. A lot of families have separation, country to country, mindset to mindset. There's a lot of things going on where the happily ever after that you might have thought you wanted 10 years ago is just not what you're thinking. Yes, it's the 10 of Pentacles. And so, in this particular part, what I'm seeing is that we need to recalibrate or redefine our quote, happily ever after. The family unit is so different than we expected 10, 15 years ago. And so, when I see this figure right here, the older man, so this is a man at the end of his life, he's in that archway of complete success, right? He's comfortable, he's relaxing, his dog is at his side, he's very content. And behind him is this family unit. And so, what it speaks to me in pulling this card, it's considered an excellent card. It shows that there is abundance and prosperity and security within your energy field, which is cool. But it also shows me that it's necessary for us to adjust what it is we're expecting from our family definition from the past, okay? The way things were done 10, 15, 20 years ago, or when our parents were children, is just not true of the world today. And we need skills to maintain connection. All right. So this card to me is like, it's kind of like what you hope for and what you fear all at the same time. Because we do want and we hope for that feeling of security in our love, in our families, and with finances. But on the other hand, we almost fear it, because what is the responsibility of it? So this is a card that normally rings really positive, and I always love to pull it. But for you today, Jahan, what I'm seeing is just it will benefit you to make a list comparing what it was you thought a family unit should feel like 10, 15 years ago. I mean, if you're only 22, that's a, you'll be a child. So maybe it's 2 years ago. But if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, looking back, what was your original sense of what the whole family, extended family, what did it look like? And then write down today, what are the most positive aspects of your family right now? Now, for me personally, I have some family members that are, they think so differently from me. Their belief systems are so different from me right now that my best situation is being disconnected from them. Okay, so when I write down today, what are the most positive aspects of my family unit, however big it is, one of the truths is I am better off being disconnected from this family member. 15 years ago, I would have thought differently. So as you look at your two lists, Jahan, and you see what in the past is kind of holding you like it's a fantasy because today doesn't match yesterday. This is a great motivation to take your eyes off the past and to let yourself focus on the future. And there may be some tricks, some traps that you set up years ago, set intentions that you weren't even aware of to create the type of family unit that's not even possible today. Got it? So, I affirmation on this, I am open to a new perspective on family. I am open to a new perspective on family. I am opening my mind to new ideas about family. You are welcome. Yes, excellent. I'm so glad to hear that, Jahan, because I think also when you have a card like the Ten of Pentacles come up when you're having problems in an area, it's showing that split because you have a committed family around you. You're redefining what it is that you're able to see as positive. It was going to give you a real flush of new energy going forward. Okay. Also, just to take a second, thank you for hitting thumbs up. Thank you for reaching out to me. Please take a peek into the description. You'll find my email address there. I would love, love, love to answer you personally and give you oh, excellent, Davinia. I'm glad. And thank you for reminding me because what I wanted to say is don't be surprised that you resonate deeply with some of the messages that other people are receiving. There's a woman online that I adore. Her name is Sunshine. She hits me on the head with her readings. Whenever I listen, she does not allow comments, which I feel sad about because I want to say, how did you know that thing? But don't be surprised as you resonate with different readers online because it's true. It's evidence of the law of attraction, isn't it? It's evidence that you may have never heard of me. You may be a first time person here today. And all of a sudden something hits your heart and you feel that zzz of aliveness that comes into you. And so I just thank you as an ambassador of readers online. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling your friends because we love spreading the joy. Okay. Thank you. May take a coffee break. And D. Maurice from Germany. Mm. Ah, I love coffee in the morning. And it's still morning my time. Okay, let's see who is next, De Maurice. Okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, De Maurice, but your angels know you. They know your name, and they have a card for you. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm just so enjoying my time. I hope you are too. And we have the Five of Earth. So far today, we have mostly Earth cards. So it does show that there's a theme here in the people that are here, that there is some questioning going on about money And the relationships fall in here also. While the cups are the emotions, and we have not had any cups so far today, the working of the relationship, the actual talking back and forth, the negotiating, the making your surroundings be at peace, those all fall into the realm of Pentacles. So, my dear Demaris, it does look to me like there's been some worry in your life in the last few days, maybe in the last week or so, that there's a sense of a little bit of despair, a little bit of now what, now what. And chances are that you have been a worrier for a lot of your lifetime. I know that worry, when worry is activated, I look at worry like an energy, like a light. You could turn on worry or you could turn it off. So if you're a worrier, or if you're on this video, you're watching this and you know that you're a worrier, let's just take a second and accept that. So I'd like you to place your hand on your heart. And those of you who are not worriers, you can put your hands on your heart also, just to stand in the gap for the worriers. But let me just speak to us, because I'm a mom. And even though my children are adults right now, worry is a battle I have to fight on the regular, because I care when they suffer, my children. However, I'm learning that if I interfere, they don't learn the lessons that they need to. So that's never easy. But let's just put our hand on our heart and just repeat after me. I am allowing myself to release worry. Go ahead, say it out loud. I am allowing myself to release worry. One of the things that you can take your hand off your heart now. One of the things that we need to watch out for, Demaris, especially in manifesting, is what I call toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is a real thing. It if it's used improperly, it covers up feelings that want and need to be expressed. That worry is something that shows us something doesn't feel right on the inside. So the first thing to know is it could be realistic. I mean, if you haven't heard from your person for a while and suddenly you think of them and you think, oh gosh, I hope there's nothing wrong, shooting them an email or a text that says, hey, how are you doing? I just thought about you. That can take the worry away because it's an action step. But if you feel like you just keep ruminating, I love that word, ruminating, where you're just thinking the bad thing over and over again. Like, where, for example, let's just turn it personally and about the Pentacles. Where's my rent? I mean, the end of the month is coming. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my rent? That's what I call a rumination, because you're taking the problem, the rent, and you're putting 100% of your energy in it. Now, I will tell you, there's an interesting science right now about the power of doodling. I'm not even kidding. Doodling is something they have proven by putting electrodes on the head and measuring each, all the, I'm not a scientist. I have a brother who's a scientist. I'm not one, but they can actually test the brain's electrical activity during worry, and then they can have people do doodling and they measure, and it goes down. That worrying goes away with doodling. So there's something called what's it called? Meandering lines. Okay, a meandering line is like the line you would see like a river. So hang on a second, I'm just going to demo it quickly. A meandering line. Okay. Oh, Davinia, yes, 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 yes. That's something. Do email me. I would love. I'm a grief counselor. I worked at the pet cemetery. I'm not even kidding. I've had the most interesting, fabulous life, but I did work at the pet cemetery for a while, and I learned so much about grief. And you can't not have grief. But what you can control is ruminating, because if ruminating is happening, you can't get out of it by just thinking. You need to do something physically. So anyway, so here, oopsie. So I have this pad of paper. Yes, the Twilight Zone doodle. So here, what I'm going to do is this is just symbolizing a river meandering through the countryside. Okay. They turn it sideways so you can be. So that's a meandering line. Now, there's a couple things to notice. Number one, it doesn't have any sharp corners in it, right? So that's part of why doodling helps. You don't want to doodle squares and rectangles and triangles. That turns on the harder processing brain, right? When you're doodling in soft lines like this, it activates the part of your brain that kills off worry. I'm not even kidding. And it really does work, and I don't know why. So, what I do when I want to doodle meandering lines at the time that I'm worried, it ends up looking like this. I love doing this. I mean, what I do is I put in my mind my worry, what it is I'm wanting to process. Let's say it's the rent. So you're a person who you have no idea where the cash is coming from, but you just know you need it. Ruminating will keep your ideas out of reach. Ruminating will make that part of your brain, the idea part, shut down. And ruminating will wake up the survival part of your brain. So it's a science, even though I'm not a scientist. Thank you for listening to my best interpretation. However, if you Google the benefit of doodling, there's some fantastic um, videos out there that will prove this for you if you doubt. But what I would suggest, if you're worried, and now where are we? We are talking to Demarise, that if there is a worry about lack in your life right now, that you do the meandering line. You can use crayon, but you can use anything you want, and just spend. I mean, it takes me maybe only 5 minutes to make one of my masterpieces with the meandering lines, but it does relieve my worry. All right. So wait, where did I put your card? Okay. So let's see. Oh, another thing is that it's okay to ask for help. All right, coming for a reading is one avenue of asking for help, because you're going to the universe and you're saying, look, I need some encouragement here. But your guardian angel wants you to know that there is a door opening in the near future, and you're being noticed, okay? And that as I honestly feel, if you do a doodling experiment and you doodle every day for 5 days in a row, I believe that an idea is going to spring. Somebody's going to approach you and it's going to be noticeable. It's a good news. Something is ahead. And remember, the angels exist in the future just the same as the divine. I believe that my inner being, the divine, the universe, has no beginning or no end, and that the spiritual world has no clock, right? No calendar. It's everywhere at the same time. So when we get you out of ruminating, I think your ideas are going to flow. Okay. Um, I love that. I'm deeply impacted by this doodling thing. I do have manifesting routine. There's 3 things that I want to do every day, Monday through Friday, to keep myself feeling at ease, to keep myself spiritually lubricated so that I'm available for whatever the universe wants to bring for me. And I rotate. I'll use the processes from Abraham Hicks. One of my disciplines is to listen to an Abraham video every day, as part of just because I love how kind Esther's voice is. I love how she teaches. I love how she, I love how she reminds me to find my inner being. I love how she reminds me not to get upset if contrast comes. I had one time 2 years ago, it was terrible. I accidentally wrote a deposit. What did I do? Oh, yeah. I wrote a deposit twice into my accounting stuff. And so I was double, triple shocked when I bounced checks and didn't expect it. And it was my own math error. And I just was embarrassed. And one of them was my rent check, it makes me choke. Oh, even to think of it made me choke in my throat. I mean, it was just a mistake. But you guys, I beat myself up for that over and over again, because I just had this expectation that I shouldn't make any mistakes, which is just silly. And so if you're here today and there's something that's really bothering you, Abraham Hicks is a great fix. And again, I say the way I play Abraham bingo. Let me sip my coffee. I go to the YouTube search window. I put in Abraham Hicks, and then I name my problem. So I might put Abraham Hicks bounced my rent check, right? And then whatever comes up, I watch that. And I can't tell you time and time again how much that's helped me. And one other key here, and I'm going to be drawing a card for Sandra. One other key is humor, things that make me laugh. So last night I was watching news bloopers. It was weather people, the people on the news that do the weather, and all of the bloopers. And I'm sorry, but that makes me laugh so loud. And laughter always relieves my worry. Okay, so there you go. Doodling and laughter. And stand up, you can get almost every stand up comic on YouTube. There's really no excuse. YouTube is free. Okay, so la 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 la. And we are at Sandra. Sandra, let's see what's happening for Sandra today. And ooh, Two of Water. So our first emotional card. Okay. Ah, oh, dear Maurice, thank you. Oh gosh, thank you so much. Isn't that cool? When I do readings, I do a personal service. There's some people that receive a card from me every day, and I love doing that. It's so meaningful. We create our intentions together. Apple, you're coming pretty quick here. I have Sandra, Anne, Apple, Ren, and Zainib. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought. Apple, you interrupted me. Hang on, let me go back. It doesn't matter. Universe knows what needs to be said. Okay, so let's take a look here at our cups, at our emotions. Okay, take a breath. Oh, I have to tell myself to take a breath. Oh, yeah, my daily card service. If you're interested in daily cards, personal daily cards, shoot me an email. I'll tell you what it's all about. But people will write back to me and say, oh, that was awesome. It was resonant. It was exactly what I needed. But you have to remember the cards do all the work, right? I mean, you see me picking random cards here. I can't know your stuff. It just happens. I had one person say, how do you do that? How do you pick the cards? And I'm like, the cards pick the cards, right? So the Two of Water. So this shows me, I know a little bit about Sandra because she's been here, time and again over our Sunday readings, and she is also a member of the Invisible Money Game, and I appreciate that. But what this shows is the dream of what you're trying to manifest is precious to your guardian angel. Okay. Now, this is one of the few cards that we don't see the guardian angel. Remember on the previous card, and Sandra, I'm glad you were here to listen to the Five of Earth card because it is kind of the energy that you're feeling part of the time is the lack of something. And notice how the angel is in view, right? But when we go to the Two of the Cups, where's the angel? Where are the guardian angels? And so, what this shows me is it's important for you to realize that even though it's a union that you're desiring, and when you look at this card, your heart leaps, and part of you goes, yes. And maybe others on the call, you're sensing that. And you might want to put into the affirmations, into the comments, I am ready to allow love. I am ready to allow love. Another one might be, wouldn't it be nice if I was ready to allow love? Wouldn't it be nice if I was ready to allow love? Making a softer affirmation can be helpful sometimes because this also has the energy of I want it, but I fear it. Okay. Many times when people are lonely and they're looking for a partner, it is exquisitely painful. And I will say to people, you want someone emotionally available. Well, guess what? That means you have to be emotionally available. And that makes people cringe because of the past. Okay? So the reconciliation energy on this is about you and you. Sure, you made mistakes in the past, but it's time to stop blaming yourself and move on. And the key to this card for me personally is that the angels are within each of these people. Okay? They are connected to spirit, strong. A strong personal connection to spirit first before you're connected to another human is always going to give you a better quality relationship. You need to be secure in yourself, what you want, what your deal breakers are. And you need to be serious about moving on from the heartbreaks in the past. Okay? So, breakup recovery is something absolutely essential. What I would do with your life again is just to go back to some of the things that we've worked on in the past about writing down the issues around your exes and make sure that you are finished. One good way of doing that is to write yourself pretend letters. Don't send them, but write down your exes, their names, and then write a letter from each of them apologizing to you. Okay? Take the bull by the horns. Why should you have to wait? Okay? Why should you have to wait for them to write that letter when you can do it yourself? So that's what I strongly recommend. And I do recommend that you work on your inner connection, on becoming familiar with your own gifts and talents, and working on self love. Another thing, YouTube search for meditations on self love and incorporate those. I think that's really going to help. Okay, Anne. Yes, I'm ready to allow love into my life. Thank you. I feel it. Anybody else ready for love? I'm ready to allow love in my life. Won't it be nice when love is flowing into my life? Wouldn't it be great if I knew how to find that love? All of these things can be helpful. The brain really does love questions. There's a book called Affirmations, and it's a fantastic book by Noah St. John. And really, you don't need to buy the book. Don't tell Noah I said that, because basically he said if we use why, the why question, if we use that it, in an unusual way, that we get results. And honestly, I've tried it and it does work. So, for example, with Sandra, why can't I find someone to love me? Why can't I find someone to love me? Why can't I find a soulmate? Those questions are self defeating. But exactly. Thank you. Why are we searching for love on the outside? So, what Noah St. John suggested was to ask the question this way: why is it so easy to find love? Why is it so easy to love myself? Why is it so easy to stop ruminating? Why is it so easy to, and then put in the finish to your sentence. So the thing that you want, true love, you would say, why is it so easy to find true love? Now, your brain may want to reject that and say, forget it. But there is something about planting that seed in your brain. I take it one step farther and I say, why is it getting easier and easier to trust my inner being? Why is it getting easier and easier to check in with my inner being when I'm worried? Why is it getting easier and easier to feel loved? Don't those feel good to you? They do to me. If you want to add one, go ahead. Why is it getting easier and easier? And then fill it in. I'd love to see what your ideas are. Okay, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we are coming over here to Anne. Anne, my friend, let's see what the guardian angel, what does your angel want you to know today, Anne? Oh, we have another two, the two of fire. Okay, so Anne, what it's looking like is that you also are resonating a little bit with that hermit energy. With again, we're all coming out of situations where we have been homebound for a while, and some of us really love it. I resonate with the hermit energy. I love being a hermit, and now I'm working at becoming a social hermit. And so fish out of water tarot is for people that can feel like a fish out of water and not being sure. So this is not you, Apple. This is Anne. So what it's showing me, though, is that there's a little bit of a lack of passion. Now, all of you guys, if you relate to this card, take it in, but happens to every reading. You may resonate with 3 or 4 of these cards. But this one is the need for passion, the need for fire. If you're bored, if you're discouraged and all of that, often the reason is because there's just not enough passion in your life. And so as a human, there is an ignition that happens where two humans, when they're together, there is fire, there is ignition of recognition of social energy. So not even, it may not be like a soulmate or some important thing, but when you stir up social energy, it enlivens your spirit. So whatever it is you're looking for, Anne, in terms of what's missing in your life, what's lacking, I hope you've been here for these readings because they're very good for this situation. But this is just showing me, like, in your past, we have this feather that's just glowing. Okay, so you've experienced so much growth, so much personal growth in your hermit life, in your staying separate, in your being single, or being detached from certain things. But what's missing, that very thing that's missing, the fire, is what's ahead of you. This does have an at ease feeling. These two figures are sitting down. So it is definitely a time of planning and resting. I mean, you make your decision. I need more fire. I need social energy. Just accepting that I am allowing myself social energy. That's a fantastic affirmation. Add it to the comments below if you can resonate. And then social energy could come, and for me, my social energy a lot of times comes from the service people that I relate to when I go out on my errands. If I stop for coffee, I'll take that extra 30 seconds to engage the barista in a little bit of conversation. The eye contact's there. I'll say, like, what time did your shift start? And they'll tell me, and I'll just thank them for being there. If they look tired, I might say, you look tired today. And the thing is, when you do, thank you, Anne, when you take the baby steps of social energy, it lights your wands. The wands or the fire, they are the suit of manifesting. All right. So you can only do so much by yourself. Period. You're a closed loop. It's like a figure eight. You're feeling good, and the spirit's real, and you've manifested. You're fine in a way, but what's missing, and social energy will fuel that for you. Okay. Another thing is, make sure that you look back for the purpose of seeing how far you've come. When you do reminisce right now, and reminisce is not ruminate. Reminisce is not ruminate. Reminisce is, wow, I remember when that worked out for me. I remember when that worked out for me. And the affirmation, thank you, Abraham, things are always working out for me. Write that down. Put it in the comments. Agree with me. Come into harmony with that affirmation. Things are always working out for me. It's true, even though 15 years ago, when I went through a cancer experience that left me with some issues, but left me alive, I'm still here. It's a miracle, truly. I'm still here. And even though when I was going through that, it was extraordinarily unpleasant, the reality is everything worked out. I recovered, I went forward, I chose a path in life that has led me on the most incredible journey, including finding Pam Grout's book, E Squared. I found that book in 2015. It completely changed my life, mainly because E Squared, the author of that is Pam Grout. She included my story in a book, Thank and Grow Rich. She put my story about what I do and how I manifest right into her book, and then added my website. She put my website. She didn't put everybody else's website in there. She's not my friend. I mean, I don't know her. It was the luckiest thing that ever happened. And I can tell you that all the baby steps that I've taken over all these years of manifesting, 20 years, all the baby steps that I've taken have gotten me somewhere. And so thank you, Anne, for affirming that things are always working out for me. Now, if it's too hard to say that because things are not working out for you right now, here's what you do. There's magic words. Write this down, even though. Write it down. even though, even though Catherine says that everything always works out, the truth is I'm feeling a little bit lost right now, right? I mean, that's the truth, and it's okay to have that as a thought. Even though I can't connect to that idea right now, I want to. Even though I don't feel like things are working out, I'm open to considering it. Even though a part of me doesn't believe that everything works out, there's another part of me that knows it's true. Even though I can't feel the truth of everything always works out, I'm open to the idea. So even though can really help you create an affirmation to accept a difficult truth, because things do work out. And each and every one of you that's listening to me right now, I love each and every one of you. Isn't it true? I mean, think back to 10 years ago. What was your worry of the day 10 years ago? What was the issue that was really troubling you? Who was the person that pissed you off that day? And I'll guarantee you, you won't remember because it doesn't matter. And that situation did work out because here you are, alive and well, and still looking for hope in your future. Okay. So excellent card with these twos showing up. So I wouldn't be surprised, you guys, if you don't have a decision to make this week. Where you're like thinking, and even the reading may pop into your mind. You're like, oh gosh, this is exactly what she was talking about. So with that choice about social, the social energy, the social connection out there, that to leverage that and make sure you don't say no when you have a yes in front of you. Okay. You definitely want to use your social currency. You want to get out there. You want to be in the exchange of it. It will feed your spirit. Okay. So now, Apple, it's your turn, Apple. Are you ready? Now, Apple, this is a message from your angel. Okay. This one wants to come out. This is funny. Okay, so the ego card for Apple, it doesn't surprise me a bit. I was just tired of, right. So Apple, it's true. Even though you have the general theme, which is true, and if you're still experiencing some of that general theme in today's world, that's your guardian angel bringing that to the surface. But the truth is, we do survive. We can thrive through changes in our life. That's about our choices. But we can be at the barely survival level. And this is where you're not able to release the disappointments from the past. There's a part of you, Apple, that has created. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. There's a part of you that's created a wall around yourself so you won't get hurt again. Very common. It's very, very common that it happens because it starts off when you're really little, and when you make a mistake and you get in trouble or you disappoint someone, and then a part of you makes a decision, oh, I better not act like that again. I won't do that again. And it grows. And through the teenage years, it gets very, very sticky because we are so overly sensitive when we're in our teenage years, adolescence. Our feelings are hurt easily. And so we start to make rules about how we're going to live our life. And it ends up making you very tight and restricted. So the message that I had with the social currency, the social energy, super important, Apple. I know you know that. To continue to love, seriously, love and respect people that you do not want to date. They're just service providers. They're like your mailman. They're, the delivery drivers. Anybody in the world who is serving you. That's where we practice laying aside our ego, laying it aside, and stepping into our higher self. So this card just shows me, in fact, when you look at, remember I talked about building that wall? Well, on this card, it's a cage, right? And if you look at the cage, it's open. And the bird is could get out, but it's choosing to stay in the cage. So being able to address the natural split that is within all of us, where our highest self, the inner being, is really wanting to give us the wisdom we need, but our lower self, or our fleshly self, or our humanity, is where we're carrying the pains and disappointments of your past. Okay, so whatever it is that you're wanting to see, that you're wanting to release, because this does show me that there's something in you, Apple, that you really do want to release. There's something. So I definitely would do that ruminating exercise. And for those of you who were not here earlier, I talked about doodling being a cure for worry and a cure for um, ruminating. Ruminating is when you're thinking about your problem. Okay. And so, what I would suggest for you is to do the doodling exercise this week for sure, Apple, and see if you can get some clarity on some next steps. And also, if just guard against being too quick to judge. Especially other people that are very obviously trapped in their own cages, and to have that compassion for other people also going forward. But I would also continue any meditating that you're doing. I strongly recommend everybody get into some meditating so that they can touch base with their inner being. Okay. And the last part is that sometimes it's comfortable to be in the cage. It just is. It doesn't matter. You don't, their part of you does not want to get out of the cage. And so if that's the case, you definitely want to be careful about complaining, because if you are isolating and you're getting something out of it, it may not be easy to choose something that is outside of that realm. Okay, so next we have Ren. Welcome, Ren. Let me draw your card. If anybody else is here and wants a card before we quit, be sure to add your name to the comments, and I would love to pull one for you. And so for Rin, what we have here is the Awakening card. So, Rin, I don't know what's been going on for you, but I feel like you may feel like you just jumped off a cliff. You may have taken, you're welcome, Apple, that you've taken a leap that didn't turn out exactly how you thought. Maybe you took a new job, or maybe you started dating someone. I'm sipping. And you kind of went against your judgment. You made a choice for something, and you did have questions about it, and you figured, I'm going to take a leap. It can't hurt. Let's see what this is about. So now that you're in the situation and time has stopped, you're definitely in a pause. And I think what the universe is wanting you to realize, what the angels are trying to tell you, is that there is a, what do you call it? Like, not probationary. It's like conditional. There's kind of a conditional situation going on, Ren, where it's so important not to have judgment, because anytime you take a leap into something, it takes time to get adjusted. I mean, you got to look at the 30, 60, 90 equation, 369, but I use 30, 60, 90. If you've done a change, or if you've just fallen in love with somebody, you got a crush on someone, or you're in a new situation, the first 30 days is an adjustment period. You're just adjusting. You can't expect yourself to feel comfortable instantly. It just isn't going to happen. Okay. And this angel is taking that dive. So the angel is diving deep to know for sure, is this what they want or not? They could flap those wings. This angel could flap the wings and turn around and lift up, but it's not happening, because right now there's a lack of stability. There's a lack of confidence. Okay. And so in order to grow your confidence, Ren, it's important to simply look at the perspectives that you may not be seeing. I was taught a technique a while ago that I love. It's really fun. Okay. Now all you need is your bed. And what you do is you lay on your bed and you let your head hang off the side. So you lay across your bed sideways. Everything's on the bed except your head. And then you open your eyes and look at what your room looks like upside down. Okay? It's a great physical exercise of changing your perspective. No kidding. Another exercise to do, similar, because all you want to do is be able to change your focus and change your perspective. So it's a process that you're doing. I definitely recommend Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks. It's one of their first books, and it's filled with processes. But what you can do is find an empty corner in your house, an empty corner of a room. Stand in the corner looking into the corner and just look what you're aware of. What do you see right in front of your face? Probably you see a wall. It could be white, it could be blue, but you're noticing what you notice visually. Okay. And the next thing you do, you turn around and you look out into the room. And again, you notice the different perspective. It's the same room, right? It's the same room, but you saw it from two completely different perspectives. Which perspective is right? Both of them, right? And so doing that exercise is so profound because it proves it that you can have a situation with two completely different perspectives. So Ren, there's something going on right now that you are eager to lift the doggone hourglass. There's a part of you that says, okay, I don't want to pause. I want to move. I want this to be correct for me. Numinous dualities. I love that name, numinous. Okay. But there is the idea of being able to get the work finished. All right. So back to the 30, 60, 90 thing. So 30 days of just to get adjusted, 60 days to get comfortable, 90 days to know for sure. Okay. 30 days to adjust. I got to write that down because that's a good one. 60 days to get comfortable and 90 days to decide. If it's like a new relationship or a job or something, you just don't, you owe it to yourself to give yourself 90 days before, yeah, right? But you owe it yourself to give it 90 days before you decide. However, if the 60-day mark is there and you're completely uncomfortable, if you're completely uncomfortable in that 60-day window, get out, move on, right? But if you're still on the fence, like, wow, I can't decide, this is partly comfortable, then you give yourself that 90 days. Okay. And I think that will definitely give you some perspective. Try that laying on the bed thing. Um, and then what I would do to finish that is just roll over and then lift your head and look at the room the way it is and just notice what you notice. And you know what? Little kids would do this. You know, you tell a little kid to do this and they'll do it in a minute. You know, they don't even care. But as an adult, we lose that playfulness. So excellent. Okay, good deal. And Zainib, I hope I'm saying your name right. Let's pull a card. Those of you who are new here, I'm Catherine. This is Fish Out of Water Tarot. I love to hear from you. My contact information is in the description box. So please do send me an email if you have any questions or comments. If you're interested in having a daily card read for you, just like this, I do that for my clients. So you might want to email me and ask me about that. I'll tell you all about it. And who do we have here for a Zainab? Okay, let's take a peek here. And we have the five. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Have a great week and good luck. Okay. And what we have here is the five of air. So, Cyanib, let's take a peek. Okay, so I feel for you here because there is, I think that what I'm sensing is within your own energy field, there are conflicts. There's a sense of, and I notice how she's holding her hand at her head, you know, like, ouch, I have a headache here. there's something going on, I believe, within your mind, with some annoyances and conflicts. This could be, now I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my upper chest right now. And so if somebody on the call may be having that feeling also. And so what that shows me is that there is a block, there's an energy block for some of you on being able to tell your truth. Okay, and I'm just burping a little bit. The reason I tell you that is I tend to feel energy in my body, and then it helps me move the energy for my clients and for myself, because we all have this energy. There are 78 cards in the tarot deck. I look at them all as switches, like a light switch, where the energy can be turned on or turned off. It can be remedied. Okay, that's what the tarot deck helps us see. We see the energy of it, and then we have a remedy so that we can balance that energy. So this is a little bit of a self-critical energy. This is a person who likes to solve things on their own. They look at the YouTubes, they read the books, they really want to improve their world. So this is, to me, shows the efforts that you're taking to straighten out what's going on, Zainib. But the problem is that the annoyance, that I feel like there's so many ideas competing in your mind for your time and attention. You don't know what to focus on. Okay, like even listening to me and listening to ideas that I have. Who am I? I don't know your personal situation, right? And you can't really depend on any of us, honestly. You have to depend on your inner being. So right now, I feel like there is a block going on between you and your inner being. And I think it's frustrating to you that you're lacking a feeling of intuition right now, that you're wishing you had more guidance. So the first thing I think of is there's a woman, Sonia Choquette. Her last name Choquette is Choquette, Sonia. She has teachings on intuition that are wonderful. She's such a wonderful teacher. So any of you who really feel frustrated, like you're not hearing from your guidance, check out Sonia Choquette. She's just wonderful. But meanwhile, what I would suggest is just doing an audit, pencil and paper, because I do feel like you may have this ruminating problem that you're having a difficult time getting away from worry. So definitely that doodling is going to help. But I want you to do, this is an unusual thing that I'm going to ask you to do, Zainib. First of all, it's important to do this in your native language. Now, any of my ideas, make sure you use your native language. Even though you are understanding English, you'll have a deeper result with your native language. And then I want you to use your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you want to be left-handed. If you're left-handed, you want to be right-handed. Pick up your pencil or your pen and write a list of everything that's annoying you right now. Okay? Be honest with yourself, just between you and you. We do have to guard against toxic positivity when we're doing manifesting. Sometimes you just can't shift and put yourself in a better space, even though you hear the manifesting teachers tell how, it just isn't happening. So take the time using your non-dominant hand. We'll tap a little deeper into your unconscious and just write down the things that are annoying you. Okay? And then give yourself a break, switch over to your non-dominant hand. And on a scale of 1 to 10, just write down how much these things are bugging you. A 1 is it's barely bugging me, barely worth mentioning. And a 10 is it's making me want to peel my skin off. Okay? So rate them from 1 to 10 and allow yourself to see that not everything is extremely annoying, right? Some of the things are slightly annoying. And so as you realize how your annoying habit, your habit of being annoyed, you're clumping it all together so that every time you're annoyed, it's like you want to peel your skin off, when in reality, some of the annoyances are stupid or silly. Okay, so in directions, number 1, write down the list of annoyances with your non-dominant hand. switch the pen or pencil into your dominant hand and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 of annoying. If they're all a 10, go back and do it again. And be honest, not everything makes you want to peel your skin off. Okay. Once you've done that, you get the pleasure of either burning the list or crunching it up and throwing it away. But you want to do a physical manifestation of getting rid of that list. This will help you to eliminate some of your inner conflict. Another thing to do is, I love Abraham Hicks. So you're going to take Abraham Hicks into the YouTube window and put in there Abraham Hicks. I'm so annoyed. I'm not even kidding. And then hit the search and pick up the first video that comes up. Okay. Another thing is when you're looking at the law of assumption, and I haven't talked about that a lot today, but with assuming that these annoyances are permanent, there's something in you that assumes annoying circumstances are natural. So when you start to step away from that and you realize that some annoyances are like a fly, you can flick them away. They're just a part of life. You can start assuming that annoying things don't have to stop you. And that puts the law of assumption exactly to work. Not every annoyance is there to torture you. The truth is that some things are annoying, but they're just easy to ignore. Okay? So I think I would, as an affirmation, I am allowing myself to let go of annoying things. I am allowing myself to step away from annoying thoughts. I am allowing annoying thoughts to disappear. I'm allowing myself to not be annoyed. I am allowing myself to shift out of this energy. Those are all affirmations that may help you. Okay? Um, Believing in yourself, believing that your inner guidance is enough will bring peace to your mind about this. And again, with the doodling, some of you may not have been here when I explained that there is science that's helping us stop ruminating. Why is that important for manifestors? Because ruminating turns off your manifesting power, turns it off. Ruminating is worrying about the problem. And so ruminating can get stuck in your head like the lyric of a song, and you can't get rid of it. So science is showing that doodling with curved lines is a way that makes your brain process worry better. So a meandering line is what a river does in nature, or it's how a vine grows. It's how our circulatory system is not ruminating, it is a meandering line through our body. Okay, there's flexibility in it. So when you doodle with meandering lines, it relieves you. And believe me, I can't tell you why and I can't tell you how. I can just tell you it works. Okay, so what I do when I'm bothered or worried about something, hi Paulina, is I use meandering lines to create a massive scribble. And in my mind, I think of the issue that's troubling me, and then I just choose the different colors and I meander all over this page until I'm tired of meandering. Okay, so that part of the only thing you want to do when you're doodling is you want to avoid squares, triangles, and corners because we're wanting to use the part of the brain that creates curves when you're doodling. Okay, and if you want more info, Google doodling, the benefits of Googling, right? The benefits of doodling. Google that and you'll see that the scientists are proving it to be true. Okay, Numinous. Hi, Numinous. And we have Paulina. Saludes de Tennessee. I lived in Mexico for a few years, and I love Spanish so much. So anyway, so let's take. I'm not bilingual. I can understand some, and I love speaking it. I would love to do a reading in Spanish. That makes me want to practice my Spanish again. But yes, these readings are free, of course. Just for all you need to do is like, share, and subscribe. That's what the payment is. And also today we're doing affirmations into the comments. So again, it's an energy exchange. So I'll give affirmations, and if you resonate with them and type into the comments window, it seals the deal. It just creates more power for all of us. So an affirmation example is, I am allowing myself to receive inner guidance. Isn't that a good one? I am allowing myself to receive inner guidance. Okay. And another one that's excellent, I am allowing myself to receive. That's a beautiful one. You can use that all week. Write it on a Post-it note, stick it on your mirror. Give yourself permission. I allow myself to receive. I allow myself to receive. I am allowing myself to receive, if that feels better. Okay, Numinous. What does your guardian angel have to say to Numinous in Texas? I bet it's hot down there. It's hot in Tennessee today. Okay, numinous dualities, numinous. Okay, I love this card. Seven of Water, Seven of Cups. Okay, so my favorite tarot teacher is Chris Reck. Um, Chris Reck does Minnow Pond Tarot, and he has a tarot school that I belong to. And he calls this card Spoiled for Choice. So, oh, beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful people, so sweet and kind and supportive. I truly enjoyed my time in Mexico. But anyway, back over to you, Numinous. So this is looking like there is a choice ahead of you, and more than one. There's this almost, maybe a little bit of worry. And so if you've gotten any resonance from the doodling and being able to avoid ruminating, that may be true for you here. But it looks like you have choices, and you've been a little bit confused about it. So the first thing that my eyes are drawn to is in that upper corner. See those 3 4s? 444. I would Google the spiritual meaning of 444, and I believe that you will find an extra message in there. And I would say that the message here is that all of these choices, um, all of these choices that are facing you, each one has some sort of value. So even if some of the choices don't seem appropriate, or it doesn't seem like it's beneficial to you, but this card says no. There are benefits in each of the doggone choices. And so that's what can make this difficult. And I think that's why Chris calls it spoiled for choice. Like, you're lucky to have all of these choices. But it seems to me that you don't feel lucky, that you feel confused. And so what I think is a smart idea is to be able to write down these choices on a piece of paper and do like bullet points under them. What are the positives? What's the benefit? I would really lean on the benefit. What do these things bring to your life? And then if there's a person, place, thing, or idea that doesn't serve you anymore, release it. And you know what, this reminds me of the card that we talked before about, when you realize that even certain people, family people, are not really helpful. They don't inspire you to follow your own path, that you can shut the door on them, not where you stop talking to them or you cut them out of your life, no, but you stop, that you don't share parts of your life with them. And that's a choice. It's a choice to say, no, if I need to talk about this, I'm going to call person A. I'm not going to go to this person anymore because they don't get me. They can't support me because they don't understand my path. See what I mean? So you'll end up closing off some of these energy. It's like each of these is taking some of your energy. thinking about these things in your life, whatever they represent. And so don't be afraid to detach. And again, it's not mean, it just helps you to stay in your lane. Okay, it's kind of an unusual message. I'm hoping it's it's resonant for you, numinous. Okay, um, I do think also that one of these choices has got a brighter light around it. I'm curious as you look at this card, which of the cups strikes you, but I'm looking at a particular one right now. And I do feel like there's one of them that is really crucial and important for your personal growth. And so, even though some people may not get it, there's something that you want to focus on that makes sense to you. Your inner being will bring peace of mind to you around this. Okay. Any questions or comments, be sure to text me, send me an email. The contact information is in the description box below. And I love hearing from you. Um, yes, interesting. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. Okay. Yes, numinous. That's exactly the cup I was looking at. It was drawing my attention strongly. Okay. You're sure welcome. Reach out if you need to. Tarotinfo, please, at gmail.com. Okay. And next we have Paulina. I know we are on the right track, numinous. Okay. Lisa, you're coming up. You are sure welcome. Okay. Oh gosh, hour and a half already. Yeah. Okay. See, it'll go a little bit longer. You are welcome, numinous. Stay cool down there. I got my fans blowing on me up here. I think it's only supposed to be like 90-ish today. You guys are really in hammered down there, so stay cool. Put a cool washcloth around the back of your neck. Okay, Paulina. Paulina, what does your guardian angel have for you today? Blessings. Thank you. I received those blessings. Thank you. So we have the Four of Waters. So we've had, I think this is our third four today. And so the fours are about stability and they're also about self-care. So we're definitely having a theme. And remember, the start of our reading, we had the moon card. And so we definitely had a theme of people kind of wiggling their way out of certain situations. Okay. So what this is showing me, my dear Paulina, is that you, first of all, you're a team player. I'm drawn to the four on this t-shirt, and I'm just feeling like you're somebody who really understands the value of teamwork. And you may be in a family situation or in a work situation where people can depend on you to do what you need to do. You are somebody they can count on. But the problem is that there's something that's been just eating away at you a little bit. There's some boredom. There's some discontent. And discontent is an interesting problem because discontent is vague. It's like, I just feel bored. Something's not right, but it's not specific. So he's sitting there and he's definitely turning his back to the ocean. And so the ocean, the cups are, of course, the emotions, and they are symbolized by water. So he's sitting in very shallow water, isn't he? And again, I have, like, in my upper chest, I just feel a huge, like, stone block, and I just burped a little bit. So anybody on the call, if you're feeling any pressure in your neck, throat, or chest, just lay your hand up there, and just lay your hand, and it's a self-nurturing gesture here. But this suggests a little bit of doubt, a little bit of uneasiness about going deep. And I get that. Many people on this particular call today have had breakups in the past or disappointments that have struck them emotionally, and it almost freezes you in place. It's like there's not development because of some fear of getting your feelings hurt again. And yet, what we're looking for, what we're reaching for, is that depth, the depth of experience, to be emotionally engaged and content about it, not overwhelmed. The problem here is that this figure is just gazing at what he knows. Okay. So I see a childlike energy here. These three cups have been satisfying. They have been enough for a while. I mean, there's people in your life that you don't dislike and you know that they love you, but there's just not an, um, an electricity to it. Everything's gotten dry and boring. The key is look behind him, right? This beautiful cup that's larger than the other cups, the guardian angel is holding it. And the cup is so huge that all you see is the wings. Imagine that. So there's this huge cup right behind you, Paulina. You're just not aware of it. So what I feel like here, let me just tap into this a little bit. Let me take another breath here. I feel like as you make peace with some things that happen in your childhood, I think that part of your boredom is that part of your boredom is that there's nothing all that wrong, right? A lot of people might look at your life and think everything's fine. And so it makes you feel ill at ease to admit that that's not quite as satisfying as I thought it would be. So here's what I'm thinking, Paulina, write down a list of everything that's positive in your life right now. All of the manifestations that have come, the people, places, thing, your house, your car, your employment, whatever it is, write down the best of what you're seeing in your life right now. And then go through the list and rank it from 1 to 10. How much pleasure are you getting from each of these things in your life? So you're writing down all the positive things that you can say, yes, this is going decent. This is okay. Write it down. And then scale of 1 to 10, how much pleasure is in all of those things. There's definitely the need to do to check in sometimes and see what it is that you're doing that's not bringing you that much pleasure. People, places, things, projects. And then if anything is under a 5, so you're really disliking it, you get almost no pleasure from it, those are the items that you can look at adjusting. Okay. Oh, going through a divorce. Ooh, okay. I have a special heart for divorce recovery, and I've written some articles about it. There's a blog called breakupcandy.com. Okay, so take a look at it. Breakupcandy.com. It's actually my blog. I started working on it many years ago, and then my life got changed when I got mentioned in a book. Pam Grout put my website in her book, manifestfaster.com, and I needed to spend 100% of my time on manifesting. Also, there's a game on Facebook that's called the Invisible Money Game. That is what I was doing as I transitioned into doing more work around manifesting. But I've been in heartbreak recovery forever, and I love being able to help and encourage people to get through divorce. You can manifest a good divorce. Seriously, you really can. And so thank you for sharing that, Paulina. This makes this card jump to life a little bit more because of what you're going through. However, okay, and now that I know that, let me just take it in. I think that it's clear that the promise of your life after your divorce is what's represented by this big cup. And I feel like leaning into your inner being, leaning into your divine wisdom. I would look also with Abraham Hicks, who I really so respect as teachers, just to do a YouTube search on Abraham Hicks divorce recovery, and just put your problem. I call it Abraham Bingo, but put your problem right out there and watch the YouTube videos that pop up. And do write to me, please. Tarot info, please, at gmail.com, and I can give you some resources and plug you into some ways to get through the divorce. There's a quiz on Breakup Candy that will help you know your style of self-sabotage, and there's cool things over there, so go take a peek at it. So, and bless your heart, divorce isn't easy. I have had 2 of them, That's something I never saw happening ever, but I didn't understand my assumptions. I didn't understand how you can attract the wrong people, quote unquote. There's no wrong people, but it's the idea of attracting organically before I did the energy work, the inner life, before I understood that I do create my own reality. And so I attracted men who were not a good fit to me. And because of my culture, how I was raised, I chose to commit to them in marriage when I didn't know them well enough. So I own that at this point, I can see, I assumed, law of assumption really does work. I assumed that husbands act in a certain way. And unfortunately, because of growing up where husbands and fathers didn't act very well, of course, I attracted the same kind of dilemmas. So I deeply respect people who are going through divorce. It's not easy. It's not easy for men or women, feminine or masculine energies. But if you need support, Paulina, please reach out. Okay. So, Lisa, welcome. And if somebody's new here today, pop your name into the comments. And we have Diksha. Hello, Diksha. Okay. And so, Lisa, let's see what your guardian angel has to say. Okay, Lisa. Ooh, Lisa, we have the Knight of Water. So I don't know where you are in the world of love, if you're single looking, if you're in a relationship, or if you are a happy single who is turning that this energy is alive for you. Okay. So generally speaking, the Knight of Water, I love this card. It's an action card. Single. Okay, cool. Well, this is an act. Let me read it two ways. Then I'm going to read it for you personally, and then as a signal that somebody's coming in, because often you'll hear on tarot readings that the knights mean an offer is coming. And I would say that is true for you, Lisa, but what I'm really sensing here is that the offer is coming for you from you. Okay. The offer is coming for you from you, that your inner being is completely aware of everything that you're wanting. Your inner being is completely clear on what you desire. Look at all these flowers. I want to kind of count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 flowers on here. 19, I would look up 19, just angel meaning of 19, because I think it has a message for you. It does represent the sun card, and I saw like the sparkle of that on his chest. Oh, that's his horse. Okay. That's so interesting because the horse is the engine, the driving, the engine of it. But what I'm sensing is that you need to be your own soulmate here. That the universe is calling you to have a loving, flirty, delicious relationship with yourself. That there has been some blaming, there's been some inability to accept yourself, and there's a part of you that so desires to be accepted by your own self. So in this time that you're between relationships, and you're like taking a vacay from being in a couple, is a perfect time for you to really look at your self-care, your habits, and your hobbies. Okay, so write that down. Self-care, habits, and hobbies, and see if you can add, if you can be romantic with yourself, just loving gestures, flirting with yourself. Okay. Raise the vibration, raise the mood, raise the feeling of self love. Uh, YouTube search for meditations with self love. There's a gazillion out there. And really spend some time. I would say, well, 19, I counted 19. So maybe it's even, like 2 to 3 weeks of intense, radical self love would really shake everything up. And then let's look at it from the other perspective. Let's say that you are feeling confident, that you definitely have self love. You have taken steps and you've taken yourself on dates. You've gone out to eat at places with a book or just with your own self, and you really enjoy your own company. And you are ready for this night of water to come into your life. I would say that an offer could very easily be coming your way. Okay. And this is a person, again, this reminds me of the lover or the Two of Cups that came up earlier, is we don't see the angel figure on this card. And so what that shows me is that there's a person coming forward who has done some work around self love, that has taken responsibility for their past relationships, that's taken responsibility for the ups and downs of being an emotional person. And what I love about the knights also is the knights serve the queens. The pages serve the kings. The page energy is so desirous to be the king that they put all their focus on learning and being the king's messengers and helpers. But the knights are devoted to the queens. So that just makes me encourage you to just work on that sense of inner royalty, connect with your inner being, and really work on polishing your self love. Now, there's a woman online who is my hero. Her name is Shelley Bullard, Bullard. You may already be familiar with her. Her little YouTube's videos are absolutely the best out there for self-love. I mean, she's very goddessy. She's gorgeous. She's manifested a husband last year, a husband and a baby in the last 2 years. She really knows what she's talking about. And she's an expert at the whole self-love idea and self-acceptance. So I would definitely go over there and just take a listen to her material. Okay. So good news either way, Paulina. It just, or I'm sorry, Lisa. I'm sorry, because it's just that Knight of Cups, Knight of Water energy is just a lovely, delicious energy for you. Okay, start first. Start at home and do that audit on personal self-love, your habits, your hobbies. You know, take a look. What are you doing? What are you thinking? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you showering love, infection on yourself? So, Diksha, it's time for you. And you had asked about your ex, right? So, let's just see what is the general energy around that ex. Those of you who are new here, I'm Catherine. I'm the queen over here at Fish Out of Water Tarot, and it's my pleasure to help people that feel a little socially awkward, a little shy, to step out of themselves and be able to have more pleasure with their relationships and manifesting in a mouthful. Mm. And I love to be here on Sundays, spending my Sunday morning with you, one of my favorite times of the week, sipping my coffee here in Tennessee in the good old US of A. And so, Diksha, let's see, when it comes to that X, what do we want to have here? Okay, so isn't this interesting? Look at all these baby angels. Isn't this wonderful? I love this energy. Oh, and look, it's got the back of the card. I always wondered how they picked the back of this card, and it's with the World card. So, Diksha, my darling, your ex is your ex. Have you ever, now in your culture, do you have a quote that says, an ex is an ex for a reason? An X is an X for a reason. I would love for you to put that into the comments in your native language. There is in my culture here in the States, an X is an X for a reason is a very important concept. It can be difficult to detach yourself, to separate yourself from an X. And yet, in 99% of cases, it's totally necessary to finish what is in. Yes, exactly. An X is an X for a reason. So it's important to finish this and let it be finished. When you're in the garden and you prune, let's say you have a beautiful rose bush, right? And you prune the rose bush. So you're cutting off the parts of the plant that no longer fit. Okay. Do you take out tape and try to tape the branches back on the rose bush? Do you take string or thread and try to tie the branches back on the rose bush? No, you throw them away. Okay. Now, if the ex is a true love, if the ex made a mistake and you need to forgive them, or maybe you make a mistake and there's true love left, let me tell you, you can't screw up here. You cannot make a mistake, because if that ex comes back in the future and they've changed their behavior, they apologize, there's a new path. It will be a new path. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune is showing that there is so much potential for you in love that going back makes zero sense. Whatever happened, happened for a reason. So as you get ready to spin the wheel again for the new life that's coming, if you spin into this person again, just organically, what do you need to hear from them? What is the exact wording that you need to hear from that ex to show you there's been a change? I've done that before with one of my exes, where it was a problem. He was a problem person. And yet there was a part of me that still felt disloyal to break up with the person. Okay, they felt disloyal. So I had to work it out. So these are some of the sentences that came to me. And it was me and my inner being came, like when I was meditating or praying. What do I need to hear from that ex to make me take another chance? Because I don't want to spin the wheel again and lose. And so here's the sentences. Catherine, I've been in therapy for 6 months. And when I think about how I treated you, I'm sick. Can you forgive me? Another sentence. Catherine, I was talking to my good friend, and when I realized how I treated you, I was shocked. I would have never done that on purpose, and I'm sorry. Another thing you could hear from your ex, even though I ghosted you, and I know that was really mean and it hurt your feelings, I want to get back together. So if they own the negative, I'm open. But if they don't, I'm not. I mean, I had a person contact me. It was on Christmas Day. It was actually the reason I started my channel. On Christmas Day of 2021, an ex that I haven't talked to in 5 years contacted me inappropriately and was flirting with me, and it left me ice cold because he was a dangerous man. And it was Christmas Day, and I was like, how I'm not going to let him ruin my Christmas. I'm not. And so I did a reading. It was my first YouTube reading that I did. And you can go back. I mean, if you went back on my page, you'd find it way back there. Because it was fun for me. It brought me joy. And it helped me get over the fact that this man was still impacting my energy, even though I hadn't seen him in 5 years. Okay, so exes, generally speaking, I'm open if they come back, but they have to say something that connects with their past, because I've attracted people that were not nice to me. And so for them to acknowledge that and say, wow, I've been in counseling, or I joined AA. I joined AA, and now that I've been going to meetings, I'm ashamed of myself. Stuff like that, it's like fantasy. What would I want to hear from my ex? Here's another thing. Even though I stole money from you and hurt you so badly before our divorce, here's a check for X amount of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can write down whatever you want, and it can be silly. Even though, here's one I wrote, even though, oh, no, wait, hang on a second. Uh, Even though I embarrassed you on social media by putting that post on your work wall, I hope you'll give me another chance, because that was a dick thing that I did. You know what I mean? I just had fun with it. And I took exactly what they did that hurt me and I wrote it into a statement that they begged my forgiveness. Now, I knew in my heart of hearts they never would. I knew it. But there was a part of me, because I'm a loyal person, I'm a person that wants to give people a chance. That's just me. So I get sucked into things. They come back and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, come on in. And then I get hurt again. And it's like, why did I do that? I had one friend that did it. She was just an unreliable friend. Like if I said, if we had a date to meet so and so place, she would call me. I would be driving to the place to meet her, and she would call me and say, I can't make it. And it was just rude. And I have my daughter at the time, she made a nickname for this friend. She called her Bad Helen. And Bad Helen, what happened with Bad Helen was she was supposed to pick me up at the airport in San Diego. We were coming in at a late night flight. It was 10 o'clock or something. And Helen had said, oh, I'll pick you up. So I trusted her. I land in San Diego. I open my phone, and sure enough, Bad Helen has said, sorry, I can't make it. And I was just furious. But my daughter was like, Mom, you can't be furious. You have done this. You trusted her again. So she was right. And so Bad Helen slid. Now, I'm not mean to Bad Helen. I just don't relate with her very well. She disappeared from my life, right? She's still out there somewhere in my energy field at some point. So I don't want to hold unforgiveness towards her or mean thoughts. All I want to do is release it from my own energy. So anyway, I've been here for 2 hours. My time goes so fast. If anybody who is brand new here wants a reading, quick, put your name in there. If I forgot to read for you, put your name in there. I'll give just a couple more minutes before I go, in case there's somebody who still wants a card. And thank you so much. Yeah, see, and that's one thing too. Thank you for bringing that up, Apple, because what I can say is that if if you are not finding anybody, there's a very good chance you're fishing in the wrong pond. Over all of my years of giving love advice, this has been major because anybody who's single, when they don't want to be single, chances are that you feel there's a type that you'll only be happy if they have that type. And so the reality is, chances are that your ideal partner, what I call a divine counterpart, is in you're just not looking in the right places. Okay. Shelley Bullard is somebody that would really help. So those of you who are really itching for a partner, go look up Shelley Bullard and just watch her story. Yes, she does sell coaching programs and education on how to manifest. And you don't have to have that if you don't want, because her regular videos are full of education. Okay, let me see, what do I want to do here? I think I want to pull one card for a oracle just for everyone in closing. So oops, sorry about that. Let me reach for an oracle deck. How about, angel prayers. I like that. I love this deck. Okay, and let me just add, an oracle card. This is our oracle deck. Angel prayers. You guys are welcome. I really hope, my wish is that you put your advice to work, okay? That you try these ideas out for the week, and then next Sunday, be sure to come back and let me know how it's going. Grab another card. If you are interested in daily card service, it's something is my favorite thing to do, you can email me at tarotinfoplease at gmail.com. I think you'll find it very affordable and fun. Also, if your story, if what you're dealing with is just so heavy for you that you need a helping hand, go ahead and email me. I would love to be able to give you a hug with a return email. Okay, so let me pick out a card for us. Okay, and here is our card, and we have, I can't pronounce, Joal Cool. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time. to manifestation here, and it to be to happiness is what it says. But the only reason that people want to manifest something is because they think they'll be happier when they have it. It's so, so true. And so, with your Dharma unfolding, with your day to day life unfolding naturally, organically, as you change the focus of what you're thinking about, and that you're focusing on your inner being and what your inner being is guiding to you toward, you cannot go wrong. Okay? Your inner being wants for you what you want for you. Sometimes on your way, for example, if you're trying to manifest a soulmate, let's just say, and you're doing all of the work of it, affirmations and retraining your mind and staying focused on your intentions, and it's happening slower than you want it to. That's the part where I will like to use gardening metaphors to help me. If I plant the corn seed in the ground, I'm not going to be eating corn tomorrow. It's not natural for me to be angry with the corn for not growing at the right rate. When your life is unfolding, we don't want to be angry that we are growing at a certain rate. And your guardian angel is here to guide you to what you need to know. So go forth and prosper this week, you guys. Practice your social connecting with anyone that you see. Practice allowing yourself loving gestures to all of the people that you meet this week, and grow that social currency. Okay, it'll pay off in building the fire for what you're wanting to manifest next. So that's it for today. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I love each and every one of you. I wish so much I could hug each and every one of you. Yeah, corn is good. Thank you, Apple. Are you a stand-up comic by chance? Do you write? You should be. You should be writing satire, I can tell. Anyway, go forth and prosper. I look forward to seeing you all next week, unless you write to me, and then I'll talk to you beforehand. Love you guys. Bye.